Hello, and welcome to the Sisters of the Shire podcast. I'm Abby.
And I'm Ashley.
And on our podcast, we talk about our love of Tolkien stories and maybe introduce or help you through some of what you might have missed.
This season, we are covering the Unfinished Tales, Tolkien's extended version / alternate universe / deleted scenes of a lot of the stories from the Silmarillion, plus some bonus content that didn't work with the Silmarillion narrative flow.
So whether you've read every book cover to cover, or you're just here because you're curious about Tolkien's other works, or even had a hard time reading them, all are welcome.
Now let's jump into the Unfinished Tales!
Woo! Let's go!
So, how are you, Abby?
Good. I'm gearing up for the holiday week coming up.
Yes.
To those who celebrate Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving is this week, this Thursday, and I'm a little nervous because I have personally never worked in a retail setting in my life. I've been very fortunate and blessed to not have been working in any retail in any capacity of my jobs that I've had in my life. And I recently got a job this summer, which I love so much. I work at an art supply store and it's really fun. But I am scheduled for Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday of this week. We have Thursday off, which is nice. But
it's gonna go great.
Yeah, it's gonna go fine. It's gonna be great. Thankfully, we moved locations from our old store. Our old store was really small. And so now we actually have like room for there to be a lot of people in there. So I'm like, okay, it's not going to be like really, crazy and packed. And I was talking to my coworker about it because this is also her first Black Friday that we're going to work together. At the same, like, we're both new hires. And so like I don't think has ever worked retail either. And so we're both like, we could do it. We're like pumping each other up. We're like, it's gonna be fine. And then our boss was like, it's not how it was in like the early 2000s. People trampling each other for like a TV or whatever. And he's like, we're not Walmart or Target.
I must have that paintbrush.
I know. That's what we were saying. Like my coworker's like, give me that canvas. I'll slit your throat. So
it's gonna be fine. I have only worked one retail job, and it was for our local sporting goods store that it seems like every one in my family, like that was like their high school job, and it just was the go-to.
Another Franson working for us.
So I worked at Black Friday, and so it had like fishing gear, paintball gear, snow gear, sportswear. It was like all of the things. And I remember the fishing department guy was like, I am so ready to get rid of all this junk. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I don't know what that means. And then this one customer came up with a pile, like a whole basket full of like lures, bait, but all these like tiny little things that of course none of them had price tags on. And so I'm like, and I'm like, he probably got like the best freaking deal ever just because I was like, miscellaneous, let's say $1, 50% off that. And then like the whole cart or the whole basket, I was like making it up. And I'm like, he wanted to get rid of it. I mean, that guy like probably walked out with like hundreds of dollars worth of stuff that I'm like, how about $10? Anything to get you out of the store.
Is it Kids Up Sport? Was it Kids Up Sport?
Yes.
No.
Kids Up Sports.
It's so Kids Up Sports like, why are we in the red for the month of December? What happened? Oh no. Ashley sold all our fishing lures for 100% off. No.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
that's my
preparing.
Yeah. Make sure everything has a price tag, and you know what to do if it doesn't have a price tag.
Girl, I one of two things are notorious of not scanning in our store are individual colored pencils and individual tiny little paintbrushes. And so I have to look at the tiny little barcode and then type it in. And my poor boss, he's an older man. He's probably in his 70s. And whenever he tries, he's like, "Okay, Abby, you come up. I cannot see. Like, you got to use your young eyes." And I was like, "Okay," but like even I'm struggling. I'm like, my
Is
eyes
it
hurt.
per color or is it just that type of pencil? Because what
It's
you
per
could do,
color.
well, I mean,
It's
okay.
per because they
I was
have to
like,
do the inventory of like, oh, we
right.
ran out of this certain color of this brand, so it's all different. And this one lady, I'll end it on this story, bought 257 colored pencils. And I was like, this is fun. This is cool. I love this for me, having to type
Man,
all
if
this
it was
in.
only like 10 or 15 colors, I'm like, you could make like a binder of like all the barcodes instead of trying to scan the tiny ones. You would just scan the barcode in the binder.
That would be helpful.
Just an idea.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad
Thank
idea.
y'all. Thank y'all.
So,
Anyways,
yes.
see, this is what I do. I'm not like, oh, that must be so
Problem
frustrating.
solve.
I'm sorry. I solve the problems.
Yes,
Can you
yes.
can you guess that I grew up with mainly men and
But I'm
boys?
telling you, my boss coworker is like in his 70s-year-old man. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
It's fine. It's gonna be great. Okay,
So,
so
well, we're also saying this to you all out there. Happy Thanksgiving to those who
happy Thanksgiving.
celebrate. I hope you guys
Hope you
have
stuff your face.
I hope you have a wonderful holiday and it will be what is the word? Joyous, cozy,
Face stuffing.
yummy,
All of the tums.
warm. It's starting to get cold. It didn't get above 40 yesterday.
Ugh.
So,
Lizzie's like, she's like super congested. Not like full on cold, but you know, the constant sniff that
uh-huh.
somehow children don't know will like,
Her and Luna are twins.
ah. We have talked about this before, how it travels through the airwaves. It's one of
Yes.
those things, like, it would be so much easier if you just blew it out. But like that, like, I would rather freaking die, mother, than blow my nose. Like,
A
what is this fucking with
Kleenex?
children? Yeah.
More like a grenade. How dare you ask me to do this?
She's like, I want to play outside. I'm like, it's 40 degrees and you are already freaking congested. Let's not do that. And then like might as well have told her I shot a unicorn in the head. Like the hurt and betrayal on the face.
I can't live under this tyrannical rule, Mother. You can't keep me in here.
Uh, Parenting for the win, right? I just want to help you.
You're so cruel, you know? You're just you're harsh, hard
Yeah.
parenting out here. Trying to keep your daughter from getting more sick. Ugh,
I know.
how dare you?
I know. Well, speaking of hard parenting, at least we don't have a Turin for a kid. Am I right?
Am I right?
Am I right?
I'm excited to go move on to a new story in the Unfinished Tales. Honestly, love the children of Hurin, but I'm excited to hear something new. You know?
I mean, we were on tour in forever. Like, I don't think tour was long. Like, I thought tour was like, I didn't like dread it. I didn't hate it. It was a longer, span of time than I thought it would be. But man, touring almost killed me.
When is it gonna end?
Yeah. And what's funny is that it doesn't like it ends with Turin's death, but we're actually going to go over just a little bit just to kind of connect the dots because I like doing that of what happens from his death to where we're going to be in this section. So,
okay,
yay, Turin, but may you freaking rot in the hells of Beleriand. So,
on your sword or
on your sword, yes. So, our new section is called A Description of the Island of Númenor. And there's literally a page that says Second Age. So we are now officially in the Second Age. So like I
Exciting,
said,
exciting.
I know. We're going to catch you up on some of the events that happened between our previous tales and the beginning of the Second Age, because I was like, I don't remember the First Age ending with Turin. What happened in between? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. So,
Woo!
in Turin's story, we did discuss the sack of Nargothrond. So that's kind of
Which,
where I'm
I'm
going to
sorry,
start.
that always makes me laugh. The sacking, like, it sounds like, I don't know.
A
Whenever I
sack
hear
of
that,
a bundle of clothes, a sack of clothes,
no, it
sack
always
of
reminds me of
Nargothrond.
like someone being fired from work.
Oh,
They like,
I was sacked.
I was
Nargothrond
sacked.
was fired.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it literally was fired.
Yes.
Okay, so we had the sack of Nargothrond, which we kind of already went over. Something we didn't really go over is how Hurin and Morwen, so after Turin's death and Nianor's death, Morgoth is like, you know what? I think I've suffered you long enough. This is painful for even me to watch. So he was released from Morgoth's prison and somehow meets up with Morwen at the graves of their children, where she dies from all the trauma. Hurin goes back to Nargothrond, somehow runs into Meme, kills him, gets the Noglamir from him, which is the Silmaril headpiece necklace thing, takes it to Thingol, and then may or may not die soon after that. The fall of Gondolin, which we didn't quite go over in Tor's story. It kind of ends with his arrival, but you might remember it from the Silmarillion. Sad things. Then men start to go, try to go to Valinor, but they always get lost or dead along the way. But
Oh,
our
no.
man Arendiel, Tuor's son, is the first man to sail to Valinor. And with the help of the Silmaril on his head, he makes it and begs the help of the Valar in vanquishing Morgoth.
Yay. And correct me if I'm wrong. He's Elrond's dad.
Correct.
Okay.
He's the one that abandons his family for the sea.
And his wife
And his
turns into a bird.
wife turns into a bird. Yes.
Uh-huh. The normal.
Yeah. Then we had the War of Wrath. The Valar finally step in and kick Morgoth's butt. This, however, resulted in the land of Beleriand completely being transformed. It is now the landscape of Middle Earth as we know and love it from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Cool.
After the War of Wrath, Morgoth is cast into the void. I always picture that image of Ganondorf being cast into the void. His lieutenant Sauron remained. He stuck around after the war. He's like, but I'm sorry, and he had his fingers crossed behind him. And Eonwë, the leader of the Valar army, was like, I don't know, let's take you back to Valinor and see what the rest of the Valar have to say. And Sauron's like, ditch that, and he ran away and hid in Middle Earth instead.
Typical.
I know. Then the Edain, who were the men that you were friends with the elves, mainly the House of Beor, Hodor, and the people of Haleth. Shout out to Haleth, girl boss. The men who stayed faithful to the Valar and the elves are rewarded with the Island of Númenor and are gifted with longer lifespans and become the Dúnedain.
Which is part of Aragorn's heritage.
Correct.
Okay.
So, on to our new section. Again, it's called A Description of the Island of Númenor. Note that it says description, not the tale or the tragedy or anything like that. It's not a story or narrative, but it will be helpful in setting the scene for our next section, which is called Aldarion and Arendis, which is a completely new story. I'm so excited.
Something new?
I know. So Tolkien had written this description and made his one and only roughed sketch of Numenor. Christopher found it amongst the wreckage of his office, I'm sure. kind of, redrew the lines a little bit, made it a bit easier to see, and did his best to read the faint names that Tolkien had written in on the sketch. For example, Christopher said this, quote, "Only names or features found on the original have been entered in on the redrawing. In addition, the original shows another haven on the Bay of Andunier, we'll get there later, not far to the westward of Andunier itself. The name is hard to read, but is almost certainly Almeida. This does not, so far as I'm aware, occur elsewhere." So this is what he's dealing with. Like, he's like, "It's hard to read."
He's like, Dad's handwriting wasn't the best. Like, I did my best, guys. I did my
Yeah,
best.
like had spilled tea on it or something. Like I'm sure it would. I know
One of the
Tolkien was.
kids scribbled on it, or
Yeah. I don't think Tolkien was, but if you're left-handed, you smear everything you write. So I'm like, maybe that, a little bit of that. So Christopher did his best with what he found, and I'm sure like I said, the chaos and wreckage of his dad's office.
we're still proud of you, Christopher. You did.
So proud, so
You
thankful.
did all the work.
Christopher. All
Thank
hail
you.
Christopher. Hail. So, these descriptions and maps according to Middle Earth from the point of view of the people. So, like, that's what Christopher says about these notes. Now we're like, well, how did the people of Middle Earth find it? This is how. So, according to their viewpoint, these records were found in the archives of the King of Gondor. These records were, of course, probably a fraction of the records that were in Numenor, but were lost in the Akalabeth, the downfall of Numenor.
Sad.
Sad. They can only, fit so many books and scrolls onto that, escape boat. So, they made this. They chose the stone of Eric.
I was gonna say they chose a big rock. It's important.
Stone will be the end of me. Funny enough, speaking of your man, Elrond also had some of the records in Rivendell or Imladris. However, both these records and the records in Gondor, quote, suffered from loss and destruction by neglect. I know. How could Elrond let that happen?
Okay,
I mean,
that's
Gondor.
one of the worst scenes in Rings of Power when like the orcs and stuff are like ruining all the books. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I would be
not the books,
not the books. And then Elrond's like saying the wrong things to like make the orc.
You know what? We're gonna burn even more.
I know. I'm like, oof, it hurts my heart. Or my favorite is the memes going around of, I don't know if people who have seen this or not, but the first Wicked movie when one of the characters is in a library and he's like sliding using books, like open books as like roller skates to slide on tables. And like people have been like talking about it online, like no one was gonna tell me that this was a horror movie. Like, no, not the innocent books.
Yeah. That reminds me of the scene in Day After Tomorrow, which I know is not your movie. I know that about you. But they're in a library and they're trying to burn books to, survive the cold. And the like librarian and this lady are like fighting over like, no, we can't burn this book. That book was crap. No, but we can't. And this other guy's like, there's a whole section of tax law over here. We can burn that. Like,
yeah. There's a whole section of, what is it, like cooking with Jell-O. We can do that.
Yes. But I mean, how could Elrond let this happen? I mean, Gondor was going through its fair share of problems, but I feel like Rivendell had this like, circle of, safety in it. It had like a bit of a climate control thing happening. You think that would have extended to the library, but whatever.
Maybe Elrond was trying so hard to make sure everything else was running that kind of fell last on the list. And he just
books were last on the list?
Maybe not last, but like he had to do a lot of things because he was kind of like, what's the word? A
He was a
new
little busy.
age, yeah, a new age minded elf, I would say. So I feel like he had
Hey,
like to upkeep a lot of things, and
if a
people were really
beast
helping him.
could upkeep his library, Elrond could keep up his own library.
Did Elrond have magical little
A magical
clocks?
feather duster.
Yeah, a little
Was
prissy
a
clock.
French women of the night.
Yeah. She's an honest, hardworking woman, Ashley.
Is she though? Anyway, so some in Middle Earth wanted to know the history of Numenor. In fact, it says they yearned for it, but the survivors of the Akelabeth didn't really see the point. Quote, all but a few regarded study of what was left of its history as vain, breeding only useless regret.
So,
Like, why bother? It was like, there's nothing we can do about it now. It only brings up bad memories.
yeah.
It only makes us wish for what could have been. But
Mhm.
I get that. But that's why we have history. That's why we record history and retell history to prevent it from happening again.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's like the story of the giver, man.
Uh-huh.
Um, it also brings into the question of how much Middle Earth knew of the events on Numenor, since it was clear on a different island, but like still somewhat close. Like it wasn't across the world. Um, so like when the Akalabeth happened, was there any like after waves that like hit Middle Earth? Were there like dark clouds in the on the horizon? They're like, huh, that's weird. Anyways, like
Anyway,
yeah.
back to
Did you guys
farming.
did you guys see that wave that came through? Man, that would have been gnarly. Like in my head, the Teleri had to have at least a few surfers. Am I right? Like,
The most beautiful surfboards you've ever
oh,
seen in your life.
oh my gosh, I wish. So the only thing that was well known was, quote, the story of Ar-Pharazôn and his impetuous armada. Impious. Sorry, that's a weird word of saying it. Impious armada. Because
They only
remember,
know of that pompous, crazy man and his really bad power trip to
mhm, they're literally
control.
called the Black Numenorians, and that's their soul color, not their skin color, for the record.
Yeah.
Um, so in case you don't remember who Ar-Pharazôn was, he was a guy who was already kind of a jerk, so it was almost too easy for Sauron to corrupt him. And then he had the gall to try to take an armada to attack the Valar on Valinor. Yeah,
You gotta
so
give it to him.
that guy.
He had some cojones. He had some
Some cojones for sure.
his brain wasn't all there, but what was there was firing on all cylinders.
Yes.
um but also I so as you might have gleaned from previous episodes, we are fans of the Rings of Power
Yes.
show, which actually shows a lot about Numenor, which is awesome. And Ar-Pharazôn is in the show, like he is of course, an important character. And I love how they portrayed him in this show because he's not like, um, what's the word? Like, wait on
A
me,
pure evil, but he is.
where he's just laying there eating food while like all his servants are
He's
all
no
around him, like,
Denethor.
yeah, like all his servants are all around him. He's not like covered in gold and all that stuff. Like he's very like, how can I manipulate these things to be my in my favor? But he works hard for it. Like
Yeah.
he
Very funny,
definitely
very
puts forth
charismatic.
the effort for it. But he
Yeah.
is so they show that in the Rings of Power show, which I'm grateful for because it's not like him just being like, I want power, give it to me now. It's like, how can I ruin everyone's day and get on the throne?
Mhm. Um, so, uh, yeah. That's kind of what has been going on in the background. So now we're going to get into the part where it sounds like I'm describing a map, because that's probably mainly what I'm going to do today. I'll do my best to make it sound fun. And there are some really cool things that I don't think are mentioned at all in the Silmarillion about Numenor. So fun stuff. Are you excited?
All right, let's get into it. All I remember is
map
that it's shaped like a star. That's all I remember.
I literally, my first sentence, as you might remember, the island of Númenor is in the shape of a 5-pointed star. Good job, Abby. You passed.
Yay! We need more fun-shaped islands, you know? There's no fun-shaped islands out there.
No.
I want a star island.
I know.
A heart island. Oh, come on, guys. More fun shapes.
I agree. Okay, so think of a star, but I'm also going to use hands of a clock if that is more your visual style. But unfortunately, we're not going to go clockwise. We're going to go counterclockwise. That was Tolkien's choice, not mine. Okay. So.
No, my brain. It's already breaking. Counterclockwise.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay. So the north part of the star, so at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
That section is called the Forostar, or the Northlands. Now, this area was the least fertile area. It's described as stony, kind of heather-covered moors with just little small groups of trees. The main landmark there is a mountain named Sorontil, where many eagles happen to live.
The eagles lived there? I forgot that.
And one of the kings of Numenor, known as the Stargazer, he built a really tall tower in this area just to observe the stars. So this was like prime stargazer / eagle territory here.
Not all the eagles lived on Numenor, right?
No, but
okay.
I think this was, I mean, we're going to talk more about.
Maybe they're migratory eagles. Maybe they lived some there, and then they flew during winter somewhere else.
Well, see, that's the thing is, do you remember what Valar is associated with eagles?
Manwë? No.
Manwë, yeah, good job.
I thought he was
like
swans or something.
Nope, it's Manwë. Okay. So I mean, mostly birds, but I think eagles is like his main thing. So in my head, it's either they're either here or in Valinor, and maybe a few in Middle Earth, like, or Beleriand or whatever. But that's kind of part of the gift of Manwë, of the island, is to have these eagles that are kind of watching things as just being little spies for Manwë. And we'll go over that next episode too. So on one of the left or west points of the star, so about 9 o'clock, is called Andustar, or Westlands. Now, if you think of the point of a star, so you have the top point, the 12 o'clock, and then you have the 9 o'clock point. So we're going to talk about the side of the 9 o'clock that is facing the 12 o'clock. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
If it's in a triangle shape of the star, then yes.
Correct. Okay, yes. So
the star
this
point.
area, yes. So this area was kind of rocky, mountains, groups of trees at the peak of the mountains. Not much there, though. Now, on the other side, so the side between 9 o'clock and, let's say, 7 o'clock, funny enough, mostly fertile, lots of trees. And what's cool about this area that is kind of unique to all the other points in the star is that it has these almost like finger-like looking things at its tip, which creates 2 significant bays of water. Now, I'm going to stay here for a little bit, but stay with me. So, the northernmost bay on the fingers was called the Bay of Anduniae, which translates to sunset, the Bay of Sunset. Sounds so lovely. Now,
Beautiful.
multiple people lived here, but one person of note was a woman named Silmarillion, if I'm saying that right. And she was the daughter of one of the kings of Numenor, who at the time was not allowed to inherit the throne because she was a girl.
Lame.
But I know. But she marries someone and they move to that area, and it kind of creates a separate class of royalty. So not like the main line, but like still important. So they're known as the Lords of Andúnier, and their descendants would include our man Elendil from Rings of Power, the
Uh-huh.
Faithful, and from there, the future kings of Arnor and Gondor. So Aragorn.
Okay. Okay.
Which kind of links to the show in that he wasn't royalty, but he also wasn't like a peasant either, Elendil. He did have some kind of a class.
He was
That
upper class.
Yes.
Some title of some sort.
Yes. So
What do
that's
they call
kind of
that?
why.
What do they call that when, like, in the movies, with like, they're not royalty, but they're like, a title and a good name. He has a good,
Yes.
like, stuff like that. But I had a question because you said the name and it sounded very familiar, of the daughter of the king that wasn't allowed to.
It does sound
Queen.
like Silmarillion.
Yeah.
Silmar. I can't say it. I'm sorry. It's Silmar. So it sounds like Silmaril, but instead of IL, it's IEN, but it's got those two dots over the E.
E. Okay.
So it's Silmarillion, I think.
Is it similar in meaning? Maybe?
Similar in meaning. I remember I looked this up and it was inconclusive. But
it can't be that close and then like not
lady crowned with shining silver. So
all right.
It's close.
Okay.
Shiny. Both shiny. So
beautiful name though.
Yes. If only I could pronounce it. I'm sure there's people out there that can, but my mouth doesn't work. Okay, I'm sorry. So that was one bay, the Bay of Andúnier. Now our other bay,
the ancestry of Aragorn, he lived.
Correct.
His lineage. Okay.
Correct. The other bay, this bay sounds so freaking cool, was between this point of the star, the end of star, so the west, 9 o'clock, and our next point of the star, which is, I was practicing these so hard, you guys, Shire Nustar, which is to the southwest, like a 7 o'clock. We'll get to that one in a minute, but it's in between those 2 points.
Okay.
Between 9 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Now, this bay, so freaking cool, is the Bay of Eldana. I want all of the artwork of this place, you guys, because it sounds amazing. Now, Eldana means towards the Eldar, because if you remember from the Silmarillion, and I know that was a long time ago, there was an island called Tol Eressëa. Now, it was an island off of Valinor, where a lot of the Teleri lived, and a lot of the elves are living there, or the Eldar. So Eldana means towards the Eldar because it faces Tol Eressëa.
Okay.
And in this area was, quote, the most beautiful of all havens of Numenor, Eldalande the Green.
Ooh.
So havens, I mean, think of it as like a city, I guess, or a settlement. So Eldalande, Elf Haven, was where the elves from Tol Eressëa would most often visit Numenor. And they would bring with them evergreen and fragrant trees from their island. So, I mean, not too far away from Valinor, friends with Valinor, so pretty freaking cool trees and plants.
They're like trading, like it's a trade route
It's a
between.
gift. I
No, I'm
think it's
saying
more
like,
like a gift.
okay,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, in a way, but I don't think Numenor's really has much to give back that's equal value.
true. One-way
So,
trading,
yeah.
a taking route,
Yes.
a gift route.
Yes. So the land surrounding this bay had the most rainfall and had a really warm climate, which helped those trees from Tol Eressëa thrive so much that the elves said it was almost as pretty as the havens in Tol Eressëa, which is high praise.
Mm.
Now, this land, this surrounding the bay land, was referred to as Nisi Maldar. Nisin Maldar, the country of fragrant trees. I mean,
Are we talking
kind of already sound.
pine? Are we talking?
Oh, do you want to know the names of all the different trees, Abby? Because I can
Yeah.
deliver.
Okay.
So these trees were so pretty. Quote, they were the Quote, they were the greatest delight of Numenor, and they were remembered in many songs long after they had perished forever. Because unfortunately, many of these trees don't go to Middle Earth. They
Oh.
were on Numenor and they died in the Akalabeth. R.I.P. the trees. But do you want to hear the descriptions and names of some of these trees?
I'm just gonna think of them as Ents, and you're describing cute Ent characters to me.
Okay, I can do that. Okay, I have to remember how to say these names because it looks like gibberish, honestly. Okay, I can do this. Oyo Lai Ray. That's the name of one of them.
Okay.
Also called Eversummer or Bough of Return. And according to my Encyclopedia of Arta, because of course Tolkien doesn't go into detail, he's just like, this is the name of a cool tree, and this is the name of a cool tree. But he doesn't exactly explain it in that section.
He's just excited about trees, okay?
I know. But I wanted to hear all about the trees. So I'm sure there's other references in other books, but I liked this one. It seemed pretty well summarized.
Okay.
So this tree was a sweet scented tree that grew in Numenor, especially in the western region, like we said, known as the Nisi Maldar, the scented, or what did I call it? The country of fragrant trees. And it was the custom among Numenorian mariners to have a cut bough of this tree placed on the prow of their ship before setting out on a voyage as a symbol of good fortune.
Cool. So it's a
Cool, right?
sweet smelling tree.
Mm-hmm. Now, the next one, sorry, I have to look up the pronunciation for all of these or I'm going to totally butcher them. I've never seen so many E's dotted in my life. Okay, this one is Lai Relo Se.
Okay.
I'm doing my best, guys. I'm sorry. This one is referred to as the summer snow. Not a ton is known about itself beyond its name, but summer snow implies, white blossoms during the summer. So I think of like cherry blossoms.
Pretty.
Yeah. And here's where it kind of gets interesting to me. The next one is Nessa Melda, beloved of Nessa, or young beloved. That's all we get is no further description is really out there, at least on the sources I had. I'm sure there's some out there elsewhere, but I also wanted to keep this short and sweet. So Nessa Melda, I'm just already thinking of Nessa and her favorite tree and what it would look like.
Oh, cute.
My girl Nessa. The next one is Varda Rihanna, crown gift of Varda. And this was one of the many different types of sweet-smelling evergreen trees.
Ooh, I want a sweet-smelling evergreen tree.
I know. Okay, I have to look at this one too. It is, I should have just put those all next to them, but, or I can just try and butcher it. I mean, there's always that. Oh, it doesn't even give a pronunciation. Crap. Okay. I'm going to do it.
Go for it.
Tonic Palase.
Ooh.
What I'm going with. Tanaquilase. Now, this is another evergreen tree, and they were famous for their fragrant leaves and flowers that they gave their name that entire region, Nisilmadar. We have very little specific information on that tree itself, except, what it's named, high white leaf, something like that. Yeah, because you think of Tanaquitl, that kind of has the same roots.
Okay.
And Tanaquitl was, to spell right. I can't spell it right. Anyways, okay, so that's one tree.
You need to work on your Elvish, ma'am.
I know. You try
Some
spelling
homework.
Tanaquitl. I'm gonna try one more time. Quittal. No. Okay. Anyways,
Google's like, are you having a stroke? I can't help you.
Okay, so we did Nessa, we did Varda. Now you can't leave out Yavanna because she is a jealous, crazy woman.
Is she the Monway's wife?
Nope, that one is Varda.
Varda's Monway's wife. Yavanna was...
Nessa is with Tulkas, and Yavanna is with Aule. I remember they had the fight over the trees.
But wasn't she a tree lady? So why would she have helped make these? No.
She didn't. It was more like, I think this is more of a tribute kind of name. So what's cool about this particular tree, Yavanna Mire, sorry, my English went to American there for a second. Yavanna Mire. It gave off a fragrant scent, and it grew rounded scarlet fruits, the red jewels that gave the tree its name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty. Maybe like
yes.
pomegranate-y, maybe.
That's what I envisioned too. Now, this next tree might sound a little familiar. Malinorne or Malinorni, the golden tree. Does that sound familiar a little bit?
It reminds me of, there was the two trees. One was gold, one was silver. And then there's also the tree, isn't like linden tree or something that have gold on them?
Yes, ma'am.
Or they look gold.
Yeah, that was actually really good. So this is a bit of a long quote, but I feel like it explains it really well. But only here, this is Numenor, grew the mighty golden Malnorne, reaching after 5 centuries, a height scarce less than it achieved in Erisea itself. Its bark was silver and smooth, and its boughs somewhat upswept after the manner of the beech. I'm not sure if you've seen many beech trees, but apparently it looked kind of like that. But it never grew save with a single trunk. Its leaves, like those of the beech, but greater, were pale green above, and beneath were silver glistening in the sun. In the autumn they did not fall, but turned to pale gold. In the spring it bore golden blossom in clusters like a cherry, which bloomed on during the summer, and as soon as the flowers opened, the leaves fell, so that through spring and summer a grove of Malnorne was carpeted and roofed with gold, but its pillars were of gray silver. Its fruit was a nut with a silver shale, and some were given as a gift by Aldiron. I can talk. We're going to talk about him next episode, or in the next section, to King Gilgalad of Lindon. I know. They did not take root in that land. So either the Rings of Power took artistic liberties, or maybe it just means like there only grew one, and that was the only one. Like it didn't just spread from there. I think both are valid. But Gilgalad gave some to his kinswoman, Galadriel, and under her power they grew and flourished in the garden land of Lothlorien, until the High Elves at last left Middle-earth, but they did not reach the height or girth of the great groves of Numenor.
I remember in the Rings of Power show, they had that one scene, I think it was more than one scene, where everything was like golden leaves just
Mm-hmm.
like everywhere. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they even had like part of it in their clothing.
Yeah. So, of all the trees, I would love
Ah,
to see that one.
beautiful.
So, again, like you were saying, that visual that we have of the tree in Rings of Power, but also other mentions of it in the other books. So, in The Lord of the Rings, after Saruman slash Sharky, cannot get over that name, when he took over the Shire, the famous party
Sharky.
tree, I know, the famous party tree that was so central to Bilbo's party was destroyed, sadly. But after Samwise returned from the destroying of the ring and all that jazz, he had a seed from one of these trees that he got from Galadriel, and he planted that and replaced the party tree.
Aww.
Yeah. So all of the pretty trees, all of the pretty things, all of the country of fragrant trees. So that was on Andustar. So
Okay.
moving on to I feel like that's a high point to stop on, but wait, there's still some more. So the next point of our star of Numenor is called Hyar Nustar, the Southwest Lands. So if we were at 9 o'clock for the other one, we're now at about 7 o'clock. Now,
Okay.
if you think about the two bottom points of a star, they're the most far apart out of the other. They're not equidistant star points. So these ones are pretty far apart. And
Mm-hmm.
on the very point of this star, it has mountains and cliffs near the coasts. But towards the 7 o'clock and 6 o'clock area, it was warm and very fertile, which led to the perfect area for vineyards, of course. Those elves love
Mm.
their wine, and I'm sure the Dúnedain were the same.
Booming economy.
I know. So at the exact 6 o'clock area, so there's no points here, but it is kind of the middle point of the points. That makes
The
sense.
of the inner part of the star, not the outer
Correct.
pointiest point of the star, like the main land of the island, like the middle of the star.
Yes. But just on this coastline, the middle section, we're gonna go over actually next episode because that had way too much. So just there on the coast of that middle point of the 2 points
Uh,
at
uh, uh.
exactly 6 o'clock, if that makes any sense, was an outlet of a river. There's 2 main rivers, but I didn't want to confuse you guys too much. But one of the rivers comes out here to the water, and it created a bunch of small beach settlements of fisher folk along the river. And the main one, called Nindamos, meaning unknown, was right at this outlet at the 6 o'clock area.
Okay.
So the next point of our star to the southeast, so about 5 o'clock, is called the Hayato star, southeast lands. Lots of trees in this area, but the Numenorians' favorite of them was the Lauren Inke, the golden rain, because it had pretty flowers. There was no other use for these trees, just they had pretty flowers.
Mm. Pretty flowers are
This
nice.
I know, I know. This name they gave it because of its long hanging clusters of yellow flowers, and some who had heard from the Eldar of Laurelin, the golden tree of Valinor, believed that it came from that great tree being brought by seed from the Eldar, but that's not the case. But you can just imagine it if they think, like, oh, that must be it. Like, no, not quite. So, like, gold versus fool's gold, maybe? Like, it's
Mm.
close. So, the last point of our star is the Oro star, the Eastlands, at about the 3 o'clock position. Now, this area was on the cooler side. The northern point, so between 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock, was very mountainous, which shielded the southern point, so from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, from the wind. And all they really said about it was that grain was the main commodity in this area, especially closer inland.
Okay. So everybody gets like pretty trees and mountains, and then they get like farming
Yeah.
land.
Yeah. Okay. So now here's your quiz. So you have the northern 12 o'clock point, which is Forostar. What do you remember
Okay.
about that one? Our first one that we went over.
The eagles live there.
The eagles live there. Good job. So least fertile, home of the eagles, and they had that cool stargazing tower.
More mountainy, like
Yeah.
taller. Okay.
Moors. I think of like England with the moors.
Scotland, Highland stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then we go counterclockwise and we tick to 9 o'clock, the western point of Andustar. What do you remember there?
That they have the most beautiful trees in all of Middle
Yes.
Earth.
Yes. So the two bays with the fragrant, the pretty
And Aragorn's family lived there.
Yes, good job. So proud of you. Okay. Then we have the southwestern 7 o'clock, which was Hayarnustar. Not a lot about this one, but maybe you remember one or two things.
That they also didn't they also have like some pretty tree thing or something?
Oh, that was the next one.
That was the next one? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
In my head, this one is actually like where you live.
Oh.
A combination of vineyards and like fisher folk.
Okay.
So
vineyard.
A little where you live.
Yes.
You have a lot of vineyards in your area, not gonna lie.
Yes.
Okay, so then we had the southeastern or 5 o'clock point, Hayarostar. That one has the pretty golden rain trees.
Okay. That one has the tree. Okay.
Okay, then our last one, eastern 3 o'clock point, Orostar has
farmlands or food lands.
Yep. Green was the bet. All they summed it up to. So those are the 5 points of the Númenorian star. I didn't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of things, so we're going to stop here. And next week, we're going to talk about, there's some different areas even just in the middle central point of the star. So we're going to go over those next week so I don't overwhelm you with all of the things I just told you. Although, Abby, I'm not going to lie, I'm very impressed that you got that much.
Yes. I did it!
Gold star for you.
Gold Númenorian star for me.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for joining us on this journey through Middle Earth. Please don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Sister of the Shire podcast. Big thank you to our patrons, Dan, Tom, Kevin, Victoria, and Avery. We really appreciate your support. It means the world to us, and we don't just say that lightly. It really does. Helps keep our podcast going. It helps pay for the costs that, we do this for fun, but it's really nice to be able to support the costs that this podcast has. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. If you want to help out as well, you can join our fellowship at patreon.com/Sisters of the Shire podcast. Starting at just $3 a month, you can join as an elf friend of the Shire. At $7 a month makes you a dwarf friend of the Shire, and $9 a month gets you in as one of our men or women friends of the Shire. I feel like I should change those to like an Eldar to what was the Nogrim? Wasn't that the dwarf one? I think something like that. I'm trying to remember in my brain.
We'll have to research.
And then,
we'll have to research.
I know. And then the men one would be Edain. Ooh, I should totally do that next time. So either one of those tiers would really help us a lot. If you can't help monetarily, we understand. Please just give us a rating or review or share us with a friend or at us somewhere on Facebook or Instagram or whatever helps get the word out. We really appreciate it.
Yes, spreading the word to like friends and family is very helpful
Heck.
because sometimes those darn algorithms don't help us sometimes. So
Yes.
word of mouth is
Uh,
always the best.
oh yeah. Uh, on as far as reviews go, we got a new review. It's been so long. Yeah, someone
You can share
gave
it
us.
with me?
Well, okay, review is a strong word. A rating. We got a rating. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
If it's ever a written out review, I would love to
Oh,
see it.
oh yes. It's
Okay.
been a while for one of those too. If you guys want to lift our spirits, we appreciate it. I know there's only certain platforms you can actually write reviews on, but we'd appreciate it all the same. So we have 51 reviews or ratings, sorry, on Spotify. So thank you, whoever did that. We're also up to 25,000 plays. So thank you for listening to us. We appreciate you all. Dan must have been on a listening binge. Freaking love you, Dan. Because he just overtook Ireland, and they are now Israel is now number 8. It was number 9. Now it's number 8.
Whoa. It's my
Yep.
favorite number. Good job.
And then Romania, this listener climbed the charts too. It overtook Indonesia. This Turkey name is going to freaking be the end of me. Turkaye. I know it's not that. I'm so sorry, but you know what I mean.
The love is there still.
I know. So Romania was 44th and is now 41st. So get it, Romania.
Cool, cool.
That's all I got.
Well, you know what? Thanks for teaching me today. I actually there was a lot of I don't know. It felt very fun learning today.
Yes. I almost feel like get out your textbooks, children.
We're gonna have
learn
a
about
quiz.
the Island of Númenor.
Yeah. You pull up your overhead projector.
Oh my gosh, the overhead projector. I remember when I was in, I want to say junior high, they would show us, and because I'm from Washington State, so they would have us look at the state of Washington, and they would show all the different county names. I forget how many counties there are in Washington, but they would erase the names, and for like a test, you had to fill all of them in.
And they're mostly, a high percentage are native language, like the native peoples of the Pacific Northwest, different languages. Those are the names of the counties. At least in Oregon, that's a lot. That's very like Chehalem.
It's Washington too.
And what's another one? Multnomah.
39 counties.
But look at us using our brain.
Okanagan.
Being smart.
That's a fun one.
Being smart.
Yeah. I did it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot one.
That it was easy.
Clickety-tat. Clickety-tat.
Click-a-tat? Click-a-tat?
Clickety-tat.
Click-a-tat. It's a name of a tribe. I had to learn about that.
I'm sure it is.
Sorry. But I hope that this was easy for you guys to understand too. Was it fun? Yes. Was it easy for you guys to understand the layout of Numenor? Hopefully that will help your understanding of the rest of the story a little easier, Yeah.
And make some dots and connections with the Rings of Power show. I think
that's why we are here, to help make it easy, Yeah.
I keep thinking of that scene where Galadriel's riding the horse. She was probably going from the main city in the central part of Numenor to Andúnier. I mean, that's why they were yeah. That's why they had all the libraries of all the cool things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you for teaching me today.
You're welcome. Until next time, I've been Ashley.
And I've been Abby, and this has been the Sisters of the Shire podcast, and we are so happy you joined us today, and we hope you can join us next time. Bye!
Bye!
Thank you for teaching me a day.